Hey, Omnibus Collectors, it's Riley from Population Goat's comics crew, and I'm here for another Omnibus of the Week. So this is something that just, as of now, came out a week ago. Today is July 2nd, and it came out whatever 7 days ago was. 25th? I don't know. Up until now, the previous three videos I've done have been for Marvel Omnibus volumes. This is my first non-Marvel. And what it is that I'm covering is, just one second, Big Damn Sin City. The name kind of says it all. It's damn big and it's Sin City. So, a little preface. Frank Miller's Sin City was when was it published? 1990s, kind of crime noir series that Miller did for Dark Horse. The series has been collected across many paperbacks, and I believe around the time that the first movie was released in theaters, which was 2004, they released a library collection. I think it was all 7 volumes put into 4 large hardcovers. So since then, they've done some paperback reprints, but they haven't done another big hardcover release until Big Damn Sin City. So I had all 7 paperback volumes. They were smaller than the regular size of paperback comics. So the transition from the smaller to this was even greater. It's more jarring, I guess. So this book collects the entirety of Sin City in one volume, and that's the first time that they've ever done that. This is all 7 Sin City stories, all 7 volumes in one giant 1,300 plus page hardcover. So I'm definitely not disappointed in this book. There were a lot of concerns from myself, plus from other people around the web, that this book was going to be kind of unwieldy. It's so huge. Not only is it thick, it's over 1,300 pages, but it's larger than a Marvel omnibus size, or the standard omnibus / deluxe hardcover size. So it's a really damn big volume. So there were concerns that a book of this size would be too unwieldy to read, and that it would be damn near impossible to crack open and have a good experience with. So that was one of the first things that I was kind of worried about going in. But luckily, I will tell you, this is not an issue. The binding on this book is fantastic. You can see right there, it opens right up. There's no gutter loss. There's no issue with reading it. You can take it from any page, from like page 5 to page 1,300, and it's going to stay open, which is always an amazing thing. And it's an even better thing for a book of this size, because the bigger the book, if it has crappy binding, then you're going to have a horrible time reading it, and it's not going to be a good experience. But Big Damn Sin City is fantastically put together. So you probably noticed it doesn't have a dust jacket, which is pretty much par for course with Dark Horse's volumes like this. All their library editions do not come with dust jackets. So we have the cover image is just Big Damn Sin City by Frank Miller. It says hot damn in a little word balloon. The spine, Big Damn Sin City. The back, we have an image of Marv, and there's basically a synopsis of what's in the book and all that mess. So good. I really like the design on the outside. I like it's kind of attention grabbing. It's something that the other night my wife and I were laying in bed, and she looked over to the shelf that's behind me and said, "Oh, I guess you got your Sin City book in." And I was like, "Yeah, did you see it earlier?" And she goes, "Well, it's kind of hard to miss when the spine is that freaking big and it just says Big Damn Sin City on it." So it's an attention grabber. This is something that anyone who walks in and sees your collection is going to spot that book and be like, oh crap, that's Sin City. That's awesome. Um, and it's also, it looks great on the inside. Not only does it look great on the outside, but the artwork looks fantastic. I think the page quality is better than it was on the smaller paperbacks. What you don't get is the stark black because it does have a white border because these pages are a different dimension than the pages of the previously printed like paperback volumes. If you had I believe it was the second edition of paperbacks like I did, where the spines lined up to show Nancy stripping, then you know what I'm talking about. There was no white border here, so it was stark black on the borders for all these pages, but it has white around there, so that's a little different. But I think that the paper stock it's a thicker paper stock, so the ink shows up more dramatically on these pages, and it is mostly a black and white comic outside of the few examples of splashes of color, like with That Yellow Bastard, which I believe was the fourth volume. Whenever he appears, he is yellow. I'm trying to see if I can flip to a page of that book. I think I'm on volume 3 right now. But so it's mostly black and white. You get a little bit of color. There's a colored cover page right here. So it's got that strong noir feel. It's that, you can tell this is Frank Miller's work, his stark black and whites. It just, Sin City has to be that stark black and white, and it looks beautiful for it. If you've ever seen the movie, the first one from 2004, the movie basically watches like you're reading this comic. So if you enjoyed the movie and you haven't read the book, I recommend it, and it has that same feel to it, that crime noir feel of Sin City, that gritty, kind of disgusting feel to it. But anyway, so it's awesome. So all 7 books are in here. That's A Dame to Kill For, Hard Goodbye, That Yellow Bastard, and all the others. I kind of forget the titles of them, like Booze, Broads, and Bullets. Hard Goodbye, Dame to Kill For, Big Fat Kill, That Yellow Bastard, Family Values, Booze, Broads, and Bullets, and To Hell and Back. That's all 7 books, all of the yarns of Sin City, all the adventures of all your favorite characters, Marv and everyone else in Bay Sin City, all the death, all the blood, all the bullets, all the booze and broads, all the Frank Miller goodness that you can take in from back when Frank Miller was at his very best. And it's beautiful. The book itself, cover price is $100. As of now, I think online on in-stock trades where I order my books from, it should be around 40% off, so you should be able to get it for around $60. But I'm just going to say I got it for $50, and this is a book that I would say is well worth the entire cover price. I'm legitimately surprised that Dark Horse didn't bump that price up on this volume to $150 or to even $200, because this is, without a doubt, the largest book by volume in my collection. And I have a lot of huge books. And what I mean is it's not the biggest by page count, because I have books that are 1,500 pages and up, but if I was to measure the dimensions of this volume itself and its girth, how much this tome weighs, this is without a doubt the largest book that I own. And I got it for $50, and that's a steal. Getting it for $100, in my opinion, is still a steal. So another thing that I need to talk about is, just so readers know, there is no extra material in this book. It's just Sin City. It's just the comic. There's no supplementary stuff in the back. There's no back matter to it. No sketches. No artwork. It's just all 7 books of Sin City in one giant book, and the only thing you get afterwards is an author biography page for Frank Miller. That's it. I'm not complaining because it's not like I really need that in a book, but some people really want to focus on that back matter, and it could be, a make or break deal for someone who maybe has already owned and read the previous volumes of, the paperback volumes. Like, well, why would I want to sell it? It's just the same material. Me personally, I just like everything in one book, and I like my books to be big. I like hardcovers. They're more archival, and I think that they stand the test of time and multiple read-throughs, whereas paperback volumes seem to deteriorate faster, in my opinion. So I would recommend it. As someone who's already read and loves the entire series and who owned the paperback volumes, I recommend moving up and upgrading to this hardcover. If you haven't read Sin City yet, this is probably the most cost-effective way to get the entire story in one place. And obviously, right now, Dark Horse released this because they're kind of pimping up the upcoming release of the second Sin City movie. So that's why this is coming out right now, of all times. But it's, there's definitely going to be a lot of people who are like, oh, Sin City, I never read that, or oh, the movie's coming out, that looks good, I want to read what it's based on. This, in my opinion, looks like the best place to get that series and to read that entire series. So, fans of the movie who haven't read it, fans who want to watch the new movie and haven't read it, I recommend it. If you've got the cash to lay down on it, go for it. It's, like I said, it's more cost-effective than buying all 7 paperbacks. It's, between $60 to $100 for the entire thing. The paperbacks definitely cost more than that. I'm not about to do the math, but they definitely cost more than that. So, Big Damn Sin City from Dark Horse, I recommend it. I really recommend it. This is a beautiful volume. This is a fantastic book. I think that really any comic fan should have this series, and this is an amazing way to have it. Sin City fans, I can't tell you enough, grab this volume. It's well worth it, and it was definitely well worth the wait. Now, I haven't decided what book I'm going to do for my next video. This one I kind of decided ahead of time because I was so excited about the impending release of the volume that I already knew I was going to be covering this book. Right now, we've got, for this week, the big release that I'm waiting on is the Infinity Gauntlet Omnibus, and being that the Guardians of the Galaxy is about a month away, that's a book that I might want to be covering, but I don't know if I'm going to do that just yet. So, that said, if there's any books that anyone watching wants to see me cover, please feel free to give me some feedback and let me know what you'd like to see me talk about next week. Any series, if you're interested in X-Men, just say that and I can pick an X-Men book, whatever. Like, just say anything. I've got plenty of books to choose from. I'm sure I can find something to make any viewer happy. So, thanks for watching. I hope that this video helps you if, you're thinking about buying this book. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week.